Okay, so WAEC result is out, and sadly, 38.2% of candidates who sat for that examination obtained credit and above in minimum 5 subjects, including English, mathematics, 38.32%. The figure marks a significant drop in performance compared to 2024 result that was 33.8%, a decline. Head of Nigeria National Office of WAEC, Amos Dangote, at a press briefing in Lagos yesterday, said the official release of the 2025 results for candidates is now available. So far, 1,969,313 candidates sat for the exams. Wow. Doc, 38.32%. Dr. Wonga Eugene Uzoma. What are your thoughts?
Yes,
this is good news.
Anas, you see, we have been on this issue of falling standard of education, and some of the results we are getting from these standardized examination tests like WAEC, NECO, JAMB, and so on, keep supporting the fact that our students keep our performance by our students keep declining year on year. So what can we do? People have talked about our poor investment into education. The UNESCO has suggested that at least 26% of the national or state budget should be devoted to education. But for the past 10 years, it has not exceeded 10%, both at the state and the federal government level. So I believe that we need to invest more into education. And we also need to work on the attitude of the students themselves, the attitude of hard work, where students are. If you go to most of the WAEC centers and you discover that examination malpractice is the order of the day.
True.
In all the states, not just in Abia State. So we know that the parents and the guardians are also involved in this malpractice. So my suggestion really is that we need to look at our schools again. The governor has said he's going to rehabilitate 221 schools, because go around the schools, they are just like hovels. They are just like shanty places, bushes, fallen structures, and all the rest of them. So we believe that if more investment is made in education, and if the students are prepared to work harder, then these poor results could be reversed. I strongly believe that.
You know, you did talk about the issue of exam malpractice. What private schools do in Aba, I don't know for other states because I've not been following what's happening in other states, is that if you're registering for WAEC, private schools will make you pay first term, second term, third term school fees in addition to the WAEC. So by the time you add this figure, you are hitting, depending on the school fees of that school, if the school is the one that pays like 30-something thousand, you look at 3-term school fees plus WAEC is hitting over 100,000 naira. If your school fees is above 100,000 naira, do the maths, it's hitting almost 400,000 naira. So you see parents saying, I can't afford to pay this much and risk my child going for the exam twice. Why not go to a special center where I'm sure that if I pay so much, my child will make it in just one? So I'm trying to look at how we're going to manage this situation of private schools forcing parents to pay first term, second term, third term school fees together with the WAEC fee, even when the students will not do third term in the school, but they tell you that there's going to be a spillover. So it's a very complicated situation. I think that education authorities should look into. What do you think?
You know, the issue of private schools have been a burden. That was why in China the first thing they did was to abolish private schools. Private school is a private business. In those days they were called commercial schools. What does that mean? They have a lot of bills to pay, they employ teachers. So for them, the major aim is profit making. So what I will advise is that government should step up their own system of education. Government should fund education. If we have enough public schools, No, parents won't be forced into this kind of arrangement you are talking about. What you are saying is true. It's true. That is the practice here in Aba, even in other towns, in other places. So I believe that the investment in education is still very, very low. You cannot give us okay. What has happened to the failure rate if examination malpractice is at this level? I hear the children are failing. That will tell you that their background is still very, very poor. So we cannot get around this through any magical means, except to train the teachers, employ properly qualified teachers, make sure that they cover their scheme of work and syllabus or whatever, and ensure that the children themselves are dedicated. But I tell you something.
They're getting distracted with social media.
Social media is there, but employment after school too is a problem. If you have graduates roaming the streets, you have WAEC holders all over the place doing nothing. What is the motivation for somebody who is in school to work harder?
True.
If at the end of the day
you sit at home?
Yes, even those who didn't go to school will be better than you. So that is why we need to do so. And the education is the bedrock for national development.
True.
So we need to work hard on improving our education system. Look at the teachers, look at the infrastructure, look at the instructional materials that is being used. Look at how the children come to school. Do they have libraries? Do they have science equipment? Which school, or even private schools, can boast of a standard laboratory, physics, chemistry, biology? So we need to look at these things and ensure that we show up our education, because it will even help our economy. What we have in the economic sphere is a reflection of the falling standard of education. So we in the education sector, we are passionate about this, and we believe that government should do something. They should look at those private schools and see those ones that are not measuring up to standard and close them down. The government started this at the beginning of inception of this administration. At a point in time, we didn't hear anything again about it. People will go to their private homes, 1 flat, 2 flats.
Exactly.
They establish a school.
There's one near my house.
And government will be looking at it.
2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, it's a school. So how do you expect the students to do well in that kind of environment? So these areas of teacher recruitment and training and retraining, infrastructure, instructional material is what we should look at, not just necessarily the WAEC result as we have it. The WAEC result is just a pointer.
That's correct.